If Emily Purcell would come up and have, did I say it wrong? Did I pronounce it wrong? Okay, Emily, come on up. She's going to have our prayer. If you're just walking in, we're going to have prayer, so if you can stop where you are, we're going to pray.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day, Lord. Thank you for everything they have done and provided for us, Lord. I ask that you will be with the students that are still coming, Lord, and whatever we do, that we will do it with all our might. Please help continue to use us, Lord. In Jesus' name I do pray. Amen.
Thank you. All right, we already started. If you'll come in quietly, remember in front of the third pew and forward. Every Friday, or almost every Friday, we are going to have an assembly. Today will be no exception, except today's assembly will be some more orientation. We always start off with a prayer, and then our Pledge of Allegiance, our school song, and then we go into either announcements or whoever is leading out with our worship thought. And I just want to bring to your attention, and maybe we'll say it a couple more times as more new people are coming. And I know I talk fast, and I'm really sorry if you're not catching everything I'm saying, but ask a friend if you need to. But our Pledge of Allegiance is to the United States of America. If you are not a United States citizen, you do not have to pledge your allegiance to our flag, but you should stand and you should be respectful, okay? And so right now, our flag is right up here, so we're going to ask everyone to stand. When it's totally quiet, I'll start off. You can join me. And when it's quiet, I'll start. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing. This is when we do our school song. And whoever would like to come and help me, you can come down front immediately, and we're just going to start. So if you're here, you're here. Let's go. Who gets the mic?
We're loyal to you, BMA. To the gold and the blue will be true. With banners in hand, you're the best in the land. Oh, you're really grand, BMA. Rah, rah! These paths we have traveled along while singing our victory song. Oh, down through the years we'll ponder memories, so grow and ponder all to you, BMA.
Well done. Nice way to start the school year. We just want to get right into our orientation, so I'm going to invite Principal Culpepper up. Thank you, everyone.
Isaac, come on up now. Let's do it now.
What's up, guys? How was everybody's day? Good? How was everybody's day yesterday? Did you guys have fun? Okay, so, I lost my voice, sorry. So, basically, we didn't end up telling you guys who won yesterday in the placements, right? Okay, so, please, we are in the sanctuary, so please stay as reverent as you can. But, in fourth place, congratulations to pretty quick. So in third place, we have the seniors. All right, congratulations, seniors. Congratulations. And for second place, there was a tie actually. So the first class in second place were repeated. There's two classes in second place, okay? So the first class is the freshmen. Congratulations, freshmen. The other class in second place, which means the next class would be the winner, right? Drum roll, please. In second place, the juniors. Congratulations, sophomores, on the win. You guys did amazing. And I guess we'll be... Really quick, guys, really quick. Congratulations, sophomores, and congratulations, everybody. I hope you had a great time. The fun does not end. Tomorrow, we will have another essay event, which is class competition. So please wear your class colors. Your sponsors will be telling you, hopefully, your sponsor will be telling you. And they're going to send an email. So please make sure to wear your class colors. It's so much easier. And have a fun day. God bless.
Time does that start? That starts sometime tomorrow. It's check the weekly schedule when the evening activity is. All right. We have Sunday school on Sunday. This keeps us from having to go too long. We try to get our Sunday schools done early in the year, so the latter part of the year we don't have as many. So I want to just state that I don't think there's anybody on this campus physically that likes Sunday school. It's a necessary evil because we have to be done by Memorial Day weekend with graduation. So we do our Sundays earlier, get them out of there, and then won't have to have as many of them. But October has quite a few open weekends with nothing on the Sundays, so you'll have a nice rest time. And yeah, September's crazy. That's beside the point. All right, we're going to go on with orientation now. Some fun things. First, Sabbath rotation. There is something called Sabbath rotation, and this is the Friday. Actually, it's going to be just all-day Sabbath right now, but as the sun goes down, it'll switch from Sabbath, breakfast, lunch, and supper to Friday night supper, Sabbath, breakfast, and lunch because of sundown. EWP covers when it's not Sabbath, but when it is Sabbath, we all take turns, if you're a dorm student, cleaning the dining room of the CAF, which takes, I've been in there quite a bit, it takes very little time if you are all there and you all jump right in. I know some guys get right in there, they knock it out, and I'll get in there and help. We're wiping tables, we're sweeping floors, and that's it. And it's over quick if everybody helps. But when you're on the list, there's usually like 4 or 5 people that are on the list. When you're on that list and you just leave to go home, because there's some people here that go home a lot, and you just kind of thumb your nose at that list. The problem with that is now you've put those other students, your friends or peers, to where now they have to work more, and it takes them longer. So what was a 10-minute or 15 minutes now becomes 20 minutes or 25. Oh, it's only 5 or 10 minutes. Yeah, it's not cool. So if you know you're going to be gone and you have rotation that day, it's your responsibility to find a replacement and to let the staff know, Mrs. Lita, who's down here, who'll be speaking soon, who your replacement is. Do you understand the Sabbath rotation? Okay, that list comes out from the business office, and it just says who's on there and for what meal. Check that, please, so that the dining room stays nice. Do you like the dining room? Those of you that remember the square tables that rocked. Yeah, we spent over $20,000 on those round tables and chairs. Those are very nice. They were bought from a reputable company specifically for their durability and comfort. Not just, we didn't want it to feel like a military barracks in there. So only way those are going to stay nice is you keep them nice. And one of the ways you do that is you keep the place clean. So when we're done, the people that come in there wipe everything down and keep it nice. And don't you like a clean cafeteria? I walk in there and sit down, and there's junk and food on the floor or on my seat. I don't like that. Or I put my arm down to talk to someone, and it's sticky. You know, some of you have been that way? Yeah. Yeah, I hate that. Honey just stays there. You know, so it's nice when we have people that are cleaning in there. So please, as a Sabbath rotation, pay attention to that. And if you're on Sabbath rotation, it would behoove you, that's a nice English word, it would be in your best interest to go talk to the rest of the people that are on there, make sure they know. And if they're going to be missing, then you can encourage them to get a replacement. Okay? Any questions? Beautiful. We seem to be having a problem with third period freshmen. Some of you, not all of you have this period free. Wandering campus. Like it's the zoo. Oh, let's go see over here. What's there? There's a lion here. No, campus isn't free roam time. I'm specifically speaking to freshmen, but the rest of you may have some free time as well. You have to be in positions where we can find you. We know where you're at. You can't just wander down to the field. We've already said that. And to the swings. There's certain areas that are off limits because if your parents call, we have to know where you're at. We do have people. This is an open campus. People do drive through campus. Ladies, especially. You have to be careful in the day we're living in. And this is what drives me nuts about talking to feminists. Not saying that you're feminists. But talking to women who think everything's equal. I'm sorry, it's not. You want to see why it's not equal? Go watch a mixed relay. There's a relay out there that showed that one country decided to have a woman run the last leg. You know, the fourth runner, and she had a huge head start because the men had run earlier. The U.S. runner passed her like she was standing still, and she's way faster than I am. Almost the whole field caught her, and it showed the difference. Does that mean women are any less valuable? No, it has nothing to do with that. It just means God made us different. Praise the Lord, God made us different. I am so happy I didn't marry myself. And I'm so happy I didn't marry someone like Damien. Yes. Damien's one of my favorite guys to tease, so I always get good responses out of it. He's such a lousy Eagles fan, but that's beside the point. So, ladies, to bring this back to reality, you don't hear as much guys getting kidnapped in a van that drives by. You don't, unless they're really young. Because they're a more dangerous target for a criminal to target. Ladies, you're an easier target. Now, they may not know that you know jujitsu, but they're going to try because you're a lady. Now, we've never had that happen here. But you have to be alert, and we have to know where you are. It's a safety thing. That's why when we go out, stay in groups. And we tell you, we go to the mall, sometimes we go down to King of Prussia Mall. That thing is a monster. Stay in groups of 2, 3, 4, whatever the number it is. It's for our safety. When we went to Italy, and I'm spending time on this because it's really important. We went to Italy. We made sure our students stayed together and that girls always had at least a guy with them. We had a situation, we were on the bus. The buses there are these monster things that are tied together, look like a train almost. And we had this Italian guy that worked his way through to where some of our ladies were. And Italian guys love blonde hair. I'm just saying, I'm Italian. I understand my Italian brothers. And this guy was a perv. And he got up close to one of our young ladies, and he was, you know, how you're sitting in a subway and you're all banging like that? He just kept moving until he was pressing up against her. And that's a thing in Italy, evidently. And it made her extremely uncomfortable. And all it took was some of our guys to kind of move over there and muscle in. But she was in tears, and she had to have that experience. It doesn't matter what you feel about women at that point, feminist or not. When something happens negative to you, you can say, well, the guy should have. Yeah, he should have. He's now in jail, but now you're dealing with trauma. So don't take that stand, ladies. Take the stand that there are evil, wicked, stupid, perverted guys that are out in this world. Hopefully none in this school. And you've got to protect yourself from them. And gentlemen, this is old school, but I'm old school. Protect these young ladies. Are there any guys in this building? I mean, I'm looking back here and you guys are sitting there like, what? Protect the girls in this school. What is wrong with you? And I'm being dead serious. Do you have sisters? Do you have mothers? This is a serious, serious thing because we take you out to places. And we've got to look after each other. And gentlemen, there's something about having a guy in a group of girls that keeps idiots from coming around as often. I hope I've made myself clear. As far as ladies, you are very valuable. The Bible calls you the weaker vessel. And that has nothing to do with spirituality. That has nothing to do with brain power. That has everything to do with how God made us. So please, gentlemen, watch after, protect every aspect of that young lady. Not just her safety, but her safety spiritually, her safety mentally, physically, and sexually. You protect those young ladies. All right? They are valuable commodities. If we didn't have them, where would we be, guys? Think about that. Yeah. Anyways, rant number 1 is over. We've got to get going now. So please be careful as you're walking around. Do not wander around campus. Freshmen, this is what got us started. You got us started. Thank you for that. There are a few freshman guys that are wandering around campus during third period. You need to be in the library or in the lobby, preferably the library studying. That would be good. Okay? And so that's, yeah, did you oh, okay. Yeah. After I get through gazebo, I'll get to that. Some of you have forgotten the announcement from a few days ago. The gazebo's not open until 8 o'clock. Closes at 5, 8 to 5. Some of you are still in there just hanging out. Once again, as staff are coming, it's a matter of knowing where you're at, so when your parents call, where's such and such? I don't know. You want to get a parent ticked? I don't know where your kid is. Okay, now, if that kid has wandered off inappropriately, we have an argument now. But if we just are being negligent, that's not going to go over well. So make sure you're where we ask you to be, okay? And the gazebo is one of those things, center campus, wandering around all over the place. Be where we've asked you to be, all right? It's easy enough. And keep the gum in your mouth. You should be in the dorms in the cafeteria, then you walk to here. If this is not open, you can wait inside the glassed areas. We have cameras there. We can see who's in there. So that's a safer area. And do not just be hanging on center campus, especially early in the morning. It's not going to be long before it's going to be dark when you're coming to school, because we are in the northern hemisphere further up. So make sure you're walking directly here, not hanging out anywhere else. Cafeteria is a good place to be until you come here. That's why we leave it open until 7:55. So make sure that you have a place that's warm, that's dry, and you can have social time in there. If you want to go back to the dorms, that's a good place too. All right, Miss A, you have some dress code comments.
Okay. All right. I was asked to address some of the headwear that you guys and girls tend to wear to school. In case you don't know, and just for a reminder of those of you who've been here, we do not allow anything on your head other than your hair, okay? But some people would like to wear their do-rags or bandanas. We do not allow that either. Coming to that. For girls specifically, and some guys who like to wear what we call tie, head tie, bonnet, all these different names, anything that you're supposed to be sleeping in, you sleeping it at the dorm, but you do not wear it outside of the dorm. That includes the cafeteria and the ad building, even at rec. Once it's supposed to be on your head, other than a cap, you do not wear it outside the dorm. Caps are also not allowed in the building. Okay, so please do not let us have to remind you, because at some point we will now take them away if we have to tell you over and over again. And you probably won't get them until the end of the school year or at the end of the semester when it's time to go home for a break. Is that it? Oh, and no PJs at the cafeteria, no PJs at the gym. You only wear your pajamas where? In the dorm. So please make sure that you're following the expectation of your dress code when you're going to the cafeteria. You already know what's supposed to be in the building. But at rec and at the cafeteria, think of it as it's a hotel. You know, some people wear pajamas to hotels. Okay, but anything that's outside of the dorm, make sure you're dressed appropriately. That is something that people can see you in and know that you're well and neatly dressed. Thank you.
Like that one.
Like that one around your neck. And so if you're wearing scarves, the actual scarves that is for winter period, or all the same thing.
There we go. And just the thing, we're not putting value on things because I remember coming here my first time I was here playing football outside with the guys, and I had a bandana on because I used to always wear a bandana. And I was told, you can't wear that. Wait a minute, I'm the principal. I can wear what I want to wear. But so it's not, we're not placing value on what you're wanting to do. It's what we do here, okay? Hair ribbons. Little plastic things or... No, barrettes, the little plastic things that you do that and hold. I don't have hair to do that with, but you pull it back and clip it and stuff. Yes.
It's stuff like a beret, like those hats kind of thing that the French wear. No.
Yeah, so those hair clips and things, okay, ladies, for you to wear. We're not extreme. We just want to make sure you understand we have to do certain things because we live in a community, and certain things, like for handkerchiefs, are gang-related, unfortunately. They have taken away the Western U.S. and made it gang. So we are away from that. That's the deal with those particular bandanas. Then it's also a look that we want to have here on campus. It's a feel when people come on and visit. It's a feel that you have. Studies are very clear that how you dress is how you'll act. And so we do want to have, when it's not uniforms, we want you to have a variety of styles. That's cool that we don't wear the same thing, but we do have certain guidelines we need to meet in order to keep a certain decorum. So that's the reason for that, okay? As well as modesty.
I'm sorry, I missed one piece. There are some students who like to wear scarves around their head just to cover up, the front parts. Those will be taken on an individual basis as the need is. So if you do think you need to wear a cover up from the front, please just talk with your dean and they'll more than likely allow it, and we'll let the staff know. Not everybody needs it, but we do know a few students probably, just to deal with their hair situation, will accommodate you. So that's all.
So I'm going to be wearing the old school. No. All right. The other thing, this is probably one of the most, or least popular. Inside the ad building, we do not allow hoodies. I know. I love hoodies. I have multiple hoodies. I'm a hoodie guy, but do not wear hoodies in the ad building, Addison Hall here. You can wear them in the gym, you can wear them in the dorms, you can wear them outside, but it is not considered DDC, and we don't allow them in this building, okay? All right. Sunglasses is another thing. There's no need to wear sunglasses inside the building. I know the future's bright, and you got to wear shades, but that's okay. Future can still be bright. You can just see it better without the shades. So anyways, just keep that in mind, no sunglasses. Also, there's a difference between BMA merch and DDC. You're seeing a DDC, most of you are wearing it. We've tried to make it as easy as possible on you by allowing you to get your own pants and shorts at different places, but you must wear the certain polo in class. BMA merch, some of the stuff you get over at the store, does not count as DDC unless it's specifically DDC merch, okay? So if you get something over there that's just like a big BMA shirt, that is not DDC, all right? Make sure we understand that. Okay. The health food store. Make sure that when you go to the health food store, you're going directly to the health food store, preferably this way, not this way, and not behind the conference building. The conference office is the building right here in front of industry. Don't go behind this way to go in. The health food store entrance is over here. Go to that entrance, not the industry entrance, okay? Make sure we're clear on how to get there. We have not restricted exactly heavily when you can go. We don't want to do that. If it becomes a problem, we'll have to, which means guys can go at this time, girls can go at this time. So if you had a free period during the day, wait a minute, is it an odd day or an even day? Right now, we're not going there. So we're giving you the opportunity to self-police yourself. Self-police yourself. So make sure you're walking directly to the store and not hanging out in just wild places where you're not supposed to be, and coming straight back when you're done with the store, not harassing the people popping screws in industry. And I'm like, oh, you're popping screws. Yes, but don't steal screws and throw them. That's not good. All right? Any questions about that? Good. No questions needed. All right, you've already covered that. I think we need to talk a little bit about some dress code stuff before we get into attendance. Specifically, jewelry. So, what you're allowed to wear is a watch. Girls can wear their hair tie things. I think we allow up to 2. And what's the difference between 2 and 3? Because 3 becomes 4, then 4 becomes 5. Before long, you got your whole arm. It's like a tattoo. It's like a full sleeve, you know. So. Girls, we allow you to wear a couple of them in case one breaks or in case you want to switch colors or whatever it is. So, guys, you don't need that. I'm sorry. High and tight, buddy. High and tight. Yeah, so also, you guys that have piercings, if you have the little plastic things that are in them and we see them, we're going to confiscate them. If you have to have those in, put them in at night while you're sleeping. Okay? But do not have them out. They will be confiscated. We just are making no differentiation between that. All right? That includes, we got bracelets, we got necklaces, you've got shoe rings, you know, things hanging on your, no. Just don't wear jewelry. We don't want to take it. I've got plastic bins full of stuff behind my desk that we confiscate. Nobody comes to claim. And we don't want to take the stuff. Just keep them. Keep them in your room, locked away, and we're all good. Okay? Everybody understand? Good. And that includes the little plastic bands that you get from who knows where that tend to add up over time as well, to where it's cutting your circulation off. Just save it for home leave and cut your circulation off then. All right. I think that's pretty much it. Sure, on the shorts, we've already talked about shorts. No, we haven't talked about shorts. Okay, so the last thing before we move on to attendance, which is a fun thing, actually, is the short situation. Last year, if you remember, the shorts were supposed to be just above the knee. You remember that, those of you who were here? In the spirit of difficulty for girls, specifically being able to find shorts that didn't look like men's shorts, that were comfortable, attractive, modest. We have raised the shorts up a little bit. So I think it's 5 inches from the top of the knee. So that gives you an idea. That's, for some of you, that's going to be mid-thigh. For some of you, it's going to be, if you have shorter legs. Anyways, you can do the math on the leg lengths. But we're still looking, and this is not DDC. DDC is still DDC. This is for all kinds of other shorts. But the idea is modesty. Modesty, and we want girls to look like girls. We want guys to look like guys. That's biblical. So hopefully, ladies, that helps you. That letter went out this summer, so hopefully you've been able to find that, and it made your job a lot easier. I have 3 daughters, and I understand it's hard to find dresses that are modest, and it's hard to find shorts that are modest. Sometimes it's hard to find jeans that are modest. It's like, man, what in the world is our world coming to? Look like you went through a lake full of piranha, and that thing costs 3 times as much as a regular pair of jeans costs. I can make those jeans for you. Next time you want a pair of holy jeans, bring them to me. I'll charge you $20, and I'll make them for you. Yeah. I got acid. I got knives. I mean, just save you money. But anyways, so just understand the basics of what we're doing is modesty. And this brings us to philosophy of our school. Our philosophy of our school is we're a spiritual school. Whether you grab a hold of that or not is between you and God. We're going to provide you every opportunity to grow, to learn, to lead. Whether you do it or not, that's your deal. Okay? Now, obviously, if you're breaking the rules, that's all of our deals. One last thing before we go on to attendance. We're going to spend a little extra time here, and we're going to have to postpone the emergency drill. So we'll do that on a different assembly. I'll talk about the fire drill here in a second. Open and closed weekends. When you go to the calendar online, you will see that there are some weekends that are open, some that are closed, and some that are partially closed and partially open. If you see closed weekend, Friday night, Sabbath, Sunday, that is truly a closed weekend. That is, you're not allowed to go home unless you have a specific request that is turned in, a week and a half ahead of time, the week before we meet, so that we can pass whether or not that's going to be allowed or not. If you choose to go on home, this is America, you can choose to go home anyways. But now you've got attendance problems because we're going to be taking attendance. Okay, on a closed weekend, attendance is taken, and that will then affect your attendance grade and put you on CLR, which is where you don't want to be. Okay, so there are some circumstances where you have to go home. That needs to be communicated to us by your parents to Miss Lita, and she will be able to then present that to the proper committee for approval. Okay? I won't give the instance, but that does happen. There are certain times where it is an open weekend. If you're going home, you clear that up with your deans. That's something the deans take care of. The only thing that comes to the committees is special requests. So open weekends, you've got to work everything with the deans. If they have questions, they'll ask us, and we'll work through it. Okay? Any questions on closed and open before I go to the hybrid one? We've put more open weekends in this year so that you will have downtime here if you want it, or if you wanted to go home more often, and so we can have some more rest time. Sometimes you will see Sunday school, and Sunday school is always a closed weekend partially. Sometimes Sabbath will be open, and you can go home, and then you can just come back in time for school. So does that make sense? Sometimes it'll be a focus week, and right after church, or if there's activity in the afternoon, whenever that ends, it becomes an open weekend from that point on. So you might have, after church, you might have an open weekend until Sunday night when you're supposed to be back in the dorm. So some of them are half open. Just be checking on that. And if you have a question, ask. Don't assume. Ask, and we'll clarify it for you. Then there's no problems. Because if you assume, you will end up with an attendance problem. And we've had a lot of people that have done it, and they just assume, and they go, and they get, but, okay, that's fine. You're still not there, and it's still a tardy problem or an absence problem. Okay, does that make sense? Because we don't want you getting on CLR. All right, let's have a quick discussion about attendance and CLR that may have to develop later as well.
All right, so I did not get to be here for registration and meet all of you guys because I was at the camporee in Wyoming. So I'm Mrs. McCall, and and so I am going to be the one. I'm Mr. Culpepper's assistant, so I also handle your attendance stuff. So that's what we're going to talk about. So first of all, there's two different kinds of attendance policies we have. We have an attendance policy that is state mandated. And then we have our BMA attendance policy, which affects you being tardy to a class, or if you're late to just a class, then we do your attendance grade with that, okay? So first of all, I'm gonna start with our state policy. So our state policy requires that you guys attend a certain amount of full days of school, that they consider full days of school. So we have to track that. You guys are only allowed 10 absences for the entire school year. That includes being out a whole day for a doctor's appointment. That includes being sick for a whole day. All those things go under that. Last year, we had a new policy per the state that allows you guys to have 5 days of pre-planned absences, okay? So those 5 days can be for anything that you and your family decide you want to do. If you guys say we're going to go on a vacation, you have 5 days. If you say grandma and grandpa are coming through and I want to be home to visit them, you can take the day off and go visit grandma and grandpa. However, you have to have a form filled out and you have to have that approved here. Okay, so if you know that you want to take some of your pre-planned days, you need to fill out the form that is online on our website. You can come to my office and get it. If you need me to email it to you, we can. But you guys need to request that at least 5 days ahead of time, okay? Because we have to have it approved by a committee. If you guys choose to take more than 5 days of pre-planned absences, those are considered unexcused by the state of Pennsylvania, and you are only allowed 3 days of not showing up for school that's unexcused, and you are now considered truant. And that means that we have to report you guys to the state saying that you're not attending school regularly. Okay, so we want to avoid that. We don't want to have to report anyone. So we just ask that you guys show up to school when you need to be. If you need to take off some extra days, those 5 days, fill out your forms. But last year we were pretty lenient because it was new. And you guys would take off and you didn't tell us. And then on the back end, we'd say, well, we'll help you out. We'll give you one of your 5 days. That's not going to happen this year, okay? So we've talked about it. We do need to follow our state policies. So if you guys have not planned it ahead, you guys will not receive your pre-planned excused absences, okay? And you will just be marked absent, unexcused, and those days will calculate and you would have to be reported, okay? So if we can all work together, we can do this, all right? So basically communicate if you guys need to be gone. All right, so that's our state side. Oh, and sick. If you guys are not sick, if you guys have doctor's appointments, we request that you guys try to do them when you're on home leaves or whatever, but we know sometimes you can't. So if you have a doctor's appointment, have your parents email us. Let us know when they're picking you up. You don't need to fill out a form. Just let us know, and then always bring back your doctor's note, because when you bring your doctor's note back, we can excuse you for that, okay? So now let's go to our BMA side of attendance. So at BMA, even though you're not gone a whole day, you still have to be in classes. And if you're not in class, you're going to be marked absent for that class. Okay, so if you guys, we have attendance points. So you will receive a grade for your attendance. It does not go on your GPA, but you do receive an attendance grade and it will go on your transcript, correct? Yeah, it goes on your transcript. It just doesn't count to your GPA. So you guys will start off, everybody will have an A in attendance, 100 points. Every time you guys are absent to a whole class, you will lose 4 attendance points, okay? So now your grade is a 96. You still have an A in attendance, but you're at a 96. Then if it's time for geometry class and you show up tardy to class, okay, so tardy is up to 10 minutes late. So if you come in 1 minute late, up to 10 minutes late. Or if the bell rings, you may not even be a minute late. Once that bell rings, the teachers can mark you tardy, up to 10 minutes. If you are tardy to class, you will lose 2 points, okay? If you are 10 minutes or more, not more than half the class though, then you are late, and that is 3 points off, okay? So as you can see, if you're absent to a class, you're now at a 96. If you're tardy to class, you get 2 more points off. Now you're at a 94, and you guys just keep losing points every time you're out. But there's good news. The good news is you guys can earn points back on your attendance record. Okay, so if you guys have perfect attendance, meaning you weren't absent, there was no dress code violation, you weren't tardy, everything was perfect for 5 school days, doesn't count the weekends, 5 school days. Every 5 school days that you have perfect attendance records, you get 3 more points added back on. So let's say you had an absent, you went from 100 to 96. If you have 5 days now with nothing, you get 3 more points added. So now you go from 96 up to 99, okay? So you guys can help yourself out. If you guys start losing points, you guys just work on your attendance. And we've seen lots of you do it. You guys have brought yourself out of the hole. And you guys can bring yourself up so that you're not going on CLR. Now, CLR, I heard you guys go, what's that, when he mentioned it. CLR is campus leave restriction, okay? And if your grade drops down into the 80s, once you go below a 90 and you hit 89, you guys will be put on campus leave restriction. And that means if we are going on a Walmart trip, you guys cannot go on the Walmart trip. If you have a friend having a birthday party and they want to invite you over, you're not going to be able to go. So when you look in our handbook, there's a whole list of what campus leave restriction means. I think you also can't have your phones during study hall and some of that too. So we don't want to be on campus leave restriction on CLR. It's not a fun place to be. Some of you have been there for a very long time. Some of you have been there like almost a whole semester. But I would encourage you guys, everybody can show up on time. Make sure you have your alarm set. But if you do get on CLR, you work yourself off. Every time you have 5 days of perfect attendance, you can get yourself out. If you continue to lose points, and you guys can see this all in our handbook, I don't want to spend too much time on it. When you're in the 80s, you're put on CLR. If you drop into the 70s with your points, you're still on CLR, but then you also have to have a day of suspension. And that's up to our principal and our VP as to whether that's an in-school suspension where you're going to class or whether we're doing something else with that. And if you go into the D's and F's and all that, you can be asked to withdraw from school. So we don't want to get there. Everybody can get an A if they try hard and work hard at it. Yes, Mrs. Ingen. Okay, did everybody hear that? So your grade lets you, if you have A's, you can run for office and do things like that. And if you don't have an A, then you're not eligible to do that. The other piece that I think will be helpful for you guys is blue slips. Now, a blue slip, I didn't bring one in here. It's just a small blue piece of paper. And those blue slips are what you guys need if you guys are showing up late. So let's say you guys went to science class. And for some reason, your teacher needed to talk to you after science class, and you're going to be late to your next class. You need to ask your teacher for a blue slip, and they need to sign it and state they were speaking with you, going over homework, whatever it is, and you take that blue slip to your next class so that that teacher knows why you're late. That new teacher is going to mark you tardy or late, but at the end of the day, they will bring me that blue slip, and then we can excuse you guys, okay? So you may say, oh, I turned in a blue slip. Why did I get the email, or why am I seeing it? It will get fixed when your teacher brings that back. If you have noticed, every evening at 6 o'clock, you guys receive an automated email from our system that tells you if you had any attendance infractions. I try to keep up with those. Some days we get busy, and I don't get them checked, and you guys have some things on there that need corrected. If you guys see something that needs corrected, you can come to my office. Some of you say, well, I asked the teacher if I could go to the bathroom, and they said yes, and then they marked me late. So if it's after the fact, you guys come to my office, and we have a green piece of paper that you're going to fill out. And you're going to say, I asked Mr. White to go to the bathroom. He said I could go, and then he still marked me tardy. You're going to take that piece of paper to Mr. White, and you're going to say, I had asked you, and you said I could go, and you still marked me. And he'll say, oh, I do remember that. And he'll say, yes, that's correct. I said that. and then you bring that back to my office. And once I've verified with the teacher, then we can correct your attendance, okay? So those are a couple procedures you guys can follow to make sure your attendance gets corrected. Does anybody have any questions about attendance? Nope. Are we good? Anything else you can think of in particular? Okay. Yes. Oh, that reminds me. Okay, so this week, we have a bunch of us are new here this week. We've had students coming in late all week due to the camporee or other things happening. So this week, and maybe into next week a little bit, we are being gracious with you because we know everybody is learning their schedules. In fact, some of you are having to stand and have changes made. So if you guys have absences or tardies or lates this week, those are not going to be counted against your attendance grade, okay? Because I know some of you haven't figured out where to go and we're needing to direct you guys. Teachers are still marking you absent, and that's still going to show up in facts if you're looking. We're just not going to take that off of your grade. And the reason they're still marking it is because when I look and say, oh, Calissa was supposed to be in math class and she's not there, maybe Calissa doesn't know where she's supposed to be. So I go and try to find Calissa and help her know where she's supposed to be. So they're still taking attendance so we can help you guys get where you need to be. Yes, sir. For sure the first week and probably into next week a little bit too, so that we still have some kids coming in. Any other questions? You guys all good? Okay.
All right, one last thing just for safety. If you hear a really loud alarm go off, it generally is our fire alarm. The object is to get out of the building. Ladies walk to the boys' dorm, the girls' dorm. Down, stay down. Okay, so guys go to the guys' dorm, girls go to the girls' dorm. You stay in front of the dorm, there you're checked in. And then once we get clearance, the administration checks the whole building, make sure it's clear. And then we tell the people that they can let everybody back. That's kind of how it works on the fire alarms. The object is to get you out of here in less than a minute. Most of the time, it takes a little bit longer than that because until we get better at it. And then we've done pretty good at getting most of you out in less than a minute, but there are a few people who seem to like to think it's a game. There's a reason why soldiers train like it's the real deal. If they don't train like it's the real deal, they get killed in warfare. You got to train like it's the real thing. And maybe, oh, fun and games, another fire drill, but what if it's not? When we're doing our shooter drill and you're all laughing and giggling, what if it's not? And then your laughing and giggling causes the death of 3 or 4 of your classmates in the room with you. Or because you didn't take it serious, you're not sure what to do or where to go. When we do our drills, it's a serious thing. I grew up in Mississippi and Alabama. I grew up in Alabama, and my kids grew up in Mississippi. Tornado Central. There's lots of tornadoes there. That's our other drill. We took our drills serious. We were all in a restaurant one time in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, for the school. The whole boarding school was there for a banquet. And we started hearing the train. We saw a trash can fly past the window. The tornado was 3/4 of a mile wide. That's a EF3. The ones you get here are like EF1. EF3 is a big tornado. It was coming right down the road. If you look on the map, and I have video footage of this, this is where our restaurant was. It's a great Thai restaurant. And the tornado comes about 5 blocks from us. It turns, shrinks, goes around, hits the University of Southern Mississippi, and expands and keeps trucking along. It stayed on the ground for 20 miles. You can go online right now, and I know the area well. You drive down the main road, and you can watch the tornado going behind all the stores. And it's this monster cloud just throwing stuff everywhere. If that would have hit our building, there would have been death. If a tornado hits a building and you're being stupid, someone can get hurt or die. Glass flying around is a deadly thing. All it has to do is cut a jugular vein, cut a femoral vein, and you bleed out right there, and there's not much we can do. You've got to take our drills seriously. And you think, oh, I can escape a fire. Smoke can end that real quick. And next thing you know, you're waking up to either reaching for Jesus or not. Because smoke puts you out. and the fire finishes you off. So you got to take it serious. This is a big building. You don't know where the fires occur. We have boilers that heat our buildings. Boilers have a tendency at different times and places, not here, but to explode. So what do we do in those situations? We get out of the building, and we do it in an orderly fashion, and we have to know where people are. Because if you're not where you are, we have to come back in and find you, and that's very dangerous. And the firemen have to come in and find you, and that's very dangerous. So if everybody does what they're supposed to do, when the real thing happens, we have no loss of life or minimized loss of life, okay? Or injuries. Does that make sense? So this is the first drill we have, and we're not going to do it today. We were supposed to. We're not going to do it today. But the first drill we have, take it serious. That we don't have to do it again the same day. All right? Any questions about the drills? All right, one last thing for you. Vespers tonight is at 7 o'clock. It's not relaxed dress. You can wear a nice shirt and jeans. It's going to be outside where we had the explosions, the warfare last night. Okay, so what time? It's 30 minutes earlier than normal because they need daylight. The chaplains department and some of your student leaders have got a nice plan for us tonight. So you're a little late for class. Let's head straight to class or VOED, and we will see you tonight at 7 on the field.